Hello and welcome to C3STREAM Land. So in this video, we are going to talk about different types of numbers. Numbers are dated way back in the history. Numbers, we have been talking about numbers as long as we have been talking about mathematics, right? But with a different time and different types of needs, numbers have evolved. So today, in first out of two parts, we are going to talk about three types of number systems that came into existence because of the different types of needs humans have at that point of time. So the first of all, to fulfill the first basic need of counting, numbers were uh, invented, I can say. And there were different types of numbers. So some of the numbers were like, you can call it Indian numbers, some call it Arabic numbers. There is a lot of discussion about who invented what kind of numbers, but in my understanding, Indians have invented the Devanagari script and those numbers starting with 1, 2, 3 symbols for 1 to 9, and then Aryabhatta invented a 0, right? And with the discovery of 0, we have the decimal number system in place. Now, at the same time, Romans had their own number system, which are called Roman numerals, and they were working on those, doing arithmetic operations of those. So in this video, we are specifically going to talk about the decimal number system that we currently use worldwide, right? So to understand why people needed numbers, to answer it simply, because they needed to count. They needed to count how much amount of grain they have harvested, or they needed to count how many bricks they would need if they want to build a certain temple, or simply for counting they wanted to have some standard measure. So in that case, to count the quantity of different things, we invented numbers. So those are called natural numbers. Natural numbers simply start with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and so on, and they go on and on and on, yeah, till infinity. They never end. But at that point of time, nobody thought of what we should call if there is nothing. Right? So this I am talking about, natural numbers were in place before even people thought of number 0. So then somebody comes across and says, what if there is nothing? What number do we have for that? And people realize, oh, okay, we don't have a number for that. So Aryabhatta came up with 0. Now there is a huge history behind how he came up with 0. Maybe we can talk it in a different video, because it has a lot of historic and spiritual angle to it. Just for your information, just as a general knowledge, we have a temple dedicated to number 0 in our country, in India. So I want to encourage you to do a little search on it and find where is this Shunya Mandir is. The name could be different, but that temple is dedicated to the discovery of 0. Anyways, so then when Aryabhatta came up with 0, that's when we had some defined number for the absence of any quantity, and that added into the number system. So now natural number system evolved and people started calling it whole numbers, right? So these numbers start from 0, unlike where the natural numbers doesn't have existence of 0. Whole numbers start with 0 and 0, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and so on and so forth. Now when this thing was invented, people thought that okay, that's all we need for life. We don't have any other number. But then at that point of time in history, India was quite evolved when it comes to financial growth or GDP, right? So I don't know if you know these concepts, but at that point of time in year 1000 or before year 1000 or something, the Indian GDP was above 35%, which is way beyond US GDP, current US GDP. So anyways, so that means they have been having a lot of businesses going on, and those were also the times for the mathematician Brahmagupta, a very, very intelligent mathematician, who pointed out that what if he's the one who actually invented the concepts of profit and loss and loan and debts. So he said that what if I have a friend who has 4 rupees and I have 3 rupees, and I have another friend who has 5 rupees, and I owe this friend, I need to give him, for the grains that I bought from him, I need to give him 6 rupees. But I only have 3 rupees with me. I give my 3 rupees, but I still owe him 3 rupees. How do I do this? So usually when we face this situation, when we owe somebody some money, for the time being, we ask some of our friends or relatives to lend us some money. So I take from one of my friends some 3 coins and I give it to him. The fact is, at this point, I don't have any money, but still my balance is, I owe my family or my friend 3 coins which I took so that I can pay my loan. So what is the number for that? How do I calculate my balance right now? My balance is not 0. My balance is much less than 0. Now what do I call that quantity? And that's when Brahmagupta came up with Rekha Ganita. And he had a number line where he quantified the values for numbers with the different signs. So positive numbers, which meant growth, and negative numbers, which meant debt. So if we follow by that, then I can say that my loan was 6 coins, which I gave it to my friend, but after paying that, since I owe my family another 3 coins, I am in debt of 3 coins. So my balance is negative 3. And that was a very, very big discovery when it came to businesses or calculating accounts. And integer number systems have evolved way beyond that point after that. But Brahmagupta really pointed it out and actually defined the numbers which are even below 0, numbers which are below nothing. And that was a very huge contribution in the field of mathematics, in my opinion. So that's how integer system was evolved in India. So to start again, integer systems consist of 3 set of numbers. One are positive integers, 1, 2, 3, 4 and so on. And then there is 0, shunya, which signifies there is nothing. And then there are numbers on the left side of the 0, which goes on in negative. So if we say from the point of view of value, then all the numbers which are on the right side are greater than 0. Their value is greater than 0, but all the numbers which are on the left side are actually considered smaller. So funny part in this is, if I am saying which one is a bigger number between 5 and 6, I would say 6 is a bigger number. But if I just change and ask this, what is the bigger number between negative 5 and negative 6, then the value of negative 5 becomes bigger than negative 6, because negative 5 is closer to 0. We can talk about this at length when we talk a bit more about integer number system. But till now, I would like to conclude this video. And just for a small recap, in this video we saw what are natural numbers, the numbers which start with 1 and go on till infinity. Then we added 0 into it, and that number system is called a whole number system. These are whole numbers. And then When we added negative numbers in that, that created entire new number system, and that is called integers. Now in the next part we can talk about bit more advanced number systems that were created after that, that what if the number is between two whole numbers, which are called fractions or decimals. Then we can talk about rational and irrational numbers. We can talk about what are prime and composite numbers. And lastly, we can talk about what are real and imaginary numbers. So till then, happy exploring.